Spring break is a huge part of the college experience, but was taken away and replaced when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. Texas Tech University has substituted spring break with wellness days. With that cancellation, many have had concerns for the much-needed break spring break used to provide. Dr. Richard Lennox, director of the Student Counseling Center at Texas Tech, said having the wellness days are very beneficial when it comes to students' mental health.
Yes, students definitely had a reaction, an understandable reaction to having their fall spring break canceled. Spring semester is busy, and spring break served a purpose, and not having that, I think, really impacted students. And I understand the reasoning behind that decision. They needed to, compact the semester and keep people safer, but it did take away that break for students. So I think the SGA making that decision and having those wellness days for students was a very good decision. It's not the same. A lot of students, for a 3-day weekend, if they live far away, they're not able to really get out of town and go away, but at least they get a day off from classes.
Daphne De La Fuente is a student at Texas Tech and works at the Risk Intervention and Safety Education Office as their student assistant and peer educator president. She said not having a spring break was a shock and has tried to use the wellness days to the fullest.
Yeah, I think it really put into perspective a lot of what we, I don't want to say we took for granted spring break. I think we all really enjoy our spring break, but it really put into perspective of as a student, it really put for students to say hey, man, I didn't realize how much, it was a time maybe I, got to go back home with family and maybe even go out on new adventures. I didn't realize how much that break meant deplugging from school for a little bit. And so it's really tough to be able to hop back in and, with an acknowledgement that you weren't going to have that break and 5 days worth of in a weekend of a break. And so I think the university gave us, some helpfulness with the wellness days. And I think, taking advantage of those wellness days as best as you can is obviously goal number one.
Lennox said self-care is very important, especially when it comes to stress, reflecting the effects of COVID-19.
Hopefully they are engaging in some self-care and not just using that as a study day. So I think it's a good idea. We all need breaks. We all need downtime so that we can fully re-engage with the work that we need to do.
The COVID-19 pandemic has had many effects on many different things. Having certain universities cancel spring break has its pros and cons. Although, if you are ever feeling in need of help mentally or emotionally, don't be afraid to contact the Texas Tech Student Counseling Center. For Texas Tech, this has been Kritsia Williams.